Let's get it. Let's get it. Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. We are back. We are back. You know the vibe. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below so when that dope content hit, it'll feel like the first and the 15th. It's Wednesday. How you guys doing out there in the chat room? The mail room is see is sorting that mail right now. Everybody need to convene in the mail room on the sorting machine. Let's get it done. We are in class today. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Johnny. Yeshua Muhammad Ali. How's the brother, man? How's the microphone? The microphone sounding pretty good. How you guys are doing out there in the chat, Dr. Millie Mail? Right on, right on, right on, Brandon. How you doing today, bro? Man, building the airplane while we fly it. Get on the bus and let me take you to school, man. Today, man, we're gonna get into a story. But first, let me drop the wisdom. Seymour Green, what is good? What's good, bro? Let me drop the wisdom, because wisdom is always important because there's a message in the wisdom. And if you follow it, it can be helpful along the way. This journey, this so-called game we call life. Cowboy, what's good? Maniac Seek, what's good, man? Glad to see you guys here. Travis, what's good, man? What's good, man? Haven't seen you in a while. How you been, bro? So let me drop the wisdom on you, man. New goals require different habits. Keep that in mind. Damus and keyways, always new goals require different habits. You got to change the habits. You can't keep acquiring them same habits expecting a different result. The result is definitely going to be the same. So let's get it. Let's get it, man. How y'all doing out there? Let a few more people jump into the chat. We can get it in, you know what I mean? Because let's see. Asiatic Supreme at Asiatic Supreme. Right on, Brandon. Travis, you hard working and hard. You working hard, bro. Man, be sure to click that thumbs up, man, on the way into the chat room, man, so we could take care of that business right there. Get them mailroom likes up, man. Get some knowledge and wisdom right on, bro. I appreciate it, man. I really gotta really start. Marlena Williams, hey, what's going on? Tapping in. I really Asiatic Supreme, yes, sir. Man, what them Dodgers doing, Asiatic Supreme? They probably losing, man. It's crazy how you can go from a world championship team to a not so much championship team, right? Right on, man. So how you guys out there doing in the chat? The mailroom goons, Wisdom Wednesday. We sorting that mail today. Check out all the junk mail. Let's get it done. Okay. So today, well, yesterday was a homie, a friend, a brother, a son, a nephew, a homie Bootsy. Yesterday he had his birthday, October the 5th. He rest in peace. He been resting in peace since 1981. Lost his life August 25th. Yeah, I believe it was August 25th, 1981. So today I want to speak about him a little bit. You know what I mean? His name was Kennedy Johnson, aka Bootsy, born October the 5th. I see you, Miss Reed. How are you? Good, good. Some of the adjectives that I used to best describe him was he was loquacious, very fluent in his English. He was very proper, upstanding, real manner, proper guy, very proper. You know what I mean? He had his own style. I'm talking about his style was like unique to anyone else in 81. You know what I mean? He was just a real authentic guy. He wasn't like a how can I put it? He wasn't like a sultry type of guy. Sultry meaning, deceptive in who he was. He was very authentic to who he was. And it's unfortunate that we lost him the way he did. And right on, Crystal, I see you. Michelle, what's good? We lost him in a very unpleasant way. You know what I mean? And I get to the story. I just want to, you know what I mean, get a little background on him. He lived off of Santa Fe and Oak Street, right next to Oak Park. And a couple of homies like K Dub, Mr. Ranger, which was Yogi and Boo Boo and Jellystone brother, they were real close to Bootsy. You know, Bootsy even had the shack in his mom's backyard, the Bootsy shack. You know what I mean? This guy was so creative, so badass, right? He had his own Bootsy glasses. You know what I mean? Because obviously, by his name Bootsy, at that time Bootsy was real hot. So actually, Bootsy was his idol. You know, he even created his own like clothing. He went to like vintage clothing stores to find different items so he wouldn't be like nobody else. You know what I mean? He played the bass guitar, very talented guy, you know what I mean? And just a well-rounded person. He wasn't a crip. Let me repeat, he wasn't a crip, but he had much love for the people that he grew up with and went to school with and people that were just around in his life. He was an amazing guy. Amazing guy. So let me back up a little bit. In August, the tribe you guys know is Santana Block. Rest in peace, Bootsy, right on. They were taking in a lot of we was taking in a lot. We was taking in a lot because we were on the cran. On the cran, you know what I mean? They was, as they would put it, they was Rosecrans Crippin back then, when we know predominantly Rosecrans is a Piru street. So in the middle of all that sits Santana Block. And we had a homie named Arthur Gibbons. We called him Chop Chop because he would chop a nigga down. I mean, excuse me from using that word, but he would chop a dude down. I mean, Chop Chop had hands. He was a hand guy, you know, thick and thin, in and out, sideways, however you want it. Chop Chop was a hand guy. Chop Chop was the cousin of Ninja Ben. Ninja Ben came to us from Israel. He was an Israeli paratrooper, paramilitary, paramilitary guy, um, explosives expert, this hand-to-hand combat, karate, jujitsu, kung fu. He was just a real well authentic guy. I mean, he was definitely an asset to us during that time, being that we were taking in so much at the time. And during this time, let's see, Gangster, Turtle, Bebop, Bobby Harper, Jack Off Sleep, um, the Twins, let's see, Mondo, Wee Hub, just a number, J Dog, Pep, just to name Bay Rob, name a few. All these guys were already incarcerated. 80 Gangster, I don't know what Wheeler rated was. Snoop, Bad Daddy was gone, probably incarcerated too at the time. You know, most of the guys that was like, I mean, real thorough in what they were doing. You know what I mean? And I'm not justifying. I'm just telling a story. And it's not glorification. It's not deifying this situation, but I'm giving you guys a story, so you can get where I'm coming from with Bootsy. So this day, Chop Chop got shot on Rosecrans, and he actually got shot with a zip gun. Imagine that, a zip gun, all original 5150. See you, boy. See you, boy. He didn't know that he was hit, and what happened? Nobody saw a bullet wound, so he was bleeding internally. Right on, Rab. What's going on with you, Rab? He was bleeding internally. He passed away in 1981, homie. And he succumbed to those injuries, just Chop Chop Arthur. And ironically, this was 4 days before the incident that happened in Bootsy. So moving forward, we in the park. I'm gathering me, Killer Raider, a couple of homies, Mr. Ranger, a couple of the homies, which I'm not gonna get their names, because course, Mr. Ranger and Killer Raider, they resting in peace. Shout out to them and their families. Killer Raider died of natural causes. Ranger died of passed away on natural causes as well. Shout out to them, man. Two real good homies. We used to call Ranger Gadget, Mr. Gadget, man, because he moved in some crazy ways. But anyway, so we're in the Rock Park. We discussing what happened to Chop Chop. We chopping it up, kicking it, trying to figure out what our execution is going to be, what our strategy is going to be, and how we going to execute it. So what happens? Henny God, I see you. LinkedIn on the Dodgers and Cardinals game. Roll with the red team again. Right on, right on. So what happens? I'm in there politicking, I'm in the environment, you know what I mean? The environment is thick. The what's around us, I feel like we're something is coming at us, you know what I mean? So at this very moment, when I'm in the park, I'm in Oaks Park, me and the other homies, Killer Raider, Ranger, to name a few, and I start walking up the driveway of the park towards the entrance of the park. And across from the entrance, across from the park is an alley. So immediately as I'm walking, I see Bootsy. He come riding up on the bike. He come to me. He said, Mel, man, I'm telling you, he said, Mel, listen, there's some dudes hiding in the alley. They coming this way. They was down on the other end. They're going to be down here shortly, right? So I say, listen, Bootsy, cool, right on for that. But get out the way, homie. This ain't your situation. It's not your situation, homie. Now, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So I gave him love, gave him some dap. So I'm thinking he gonna cut across the park, but he doesn't do that. He go back down the way to which he pointed from where the dudes was coming. But I think that being that he had a civilian mindset, he didn't realize the danger that he was placing himself in. You know what I mean? But he did that out of love that the people that he cared and grew up about. He didn't want to see no harm come to us because he felt like we were in the park. But unknown to him, we had them goddammits. We had them goddammits. You understand? Well, nobody there naked. So when Bootsy get down to the end and it erupted. It erupted all of a sudden. So I started running towards him because I felt like he just went that way. I needed to get to him to try to help him and put some cover and some protection on him, to make sure that, my friend, my homie, my loved one don't get caught up in the middle of whatever's going on between us and another tribe. And what happened, I get down there and I don't see him, but I see the bike. I see the bike and then I looked around. By this time, everything had cleared up. You know what I mean? People were running, ducking, and hiding because I'm telling about it erupted. It went down. And I'm not gonna give all the details of that because there's no need of that. I'm just telling a story about my little one, Bootsy. So I see the bike. I'm looking. By this time, whatever was coming through for us in the alley is gone because they got met with a strong resistance, and when I look around and then I noticed this car sitting on the side. So I looked and I seen a set of legs, and when I seen a set of legs, I just, oh no, you know what I mean? I was just, I went into a little prayer, and at that time, what I was thinking turned out to be real. Bootsy had got hit. Bootsy had got hit. Bootsy had August 25th lost his life based on coming down to protect a bunch of cats that he grew up and knew with. You know what I mean? I mean, he was such an awesome bass player. Often he could even been a clothing line designer. Man, he just had his own unique style. And as you see in the pic, man, dude was cut up, nicely built. All the girls loved him. He was just man. He had his sister, his auntie Mary. Was married to the homeboy Killer Raider. He had a sister named Gina, two twin sisters. You know what I mean? Had a real good family. What's going on with you, Stan? You know, and like I said, I use that word, Stan, loquacious, man. You know, for those don't know it, man. Loquacious, loquacious. And I don't like to tell you words and don't tell you what they mean. Loquacious meaning that he was fluent in his talk. He was a talkative person. He was very charismatic, just a really lovable guy. And you know what I mean? I was reflecting on him yesterday because yesterday was his birthday. And I just wanted to give him a shout out, man, and give him some love, you know, and hopefully he's still smiling, looking down on us, you know, knowing that we were okay, that he, you know, he came to save our lives, which he did, you know what I mean? Because we didn't anticipate them coming from the direction they did, you know, and it happened, you know what I mean? And it was him that ran the interference, you know, long enough. But what I was mostly disappointed about, so right on number one, what I was mostly disappointed about, it was two individuals from our side. And one of the individuals, you guys possibly seen him on the internet. He's always, you know, ranting and raving about something. Uh when I checked his weapon, because he handed it over to me, and not a one was spit. The whole clip was still full, you know. And I ain't gonna get into all the particulars about all that because that's neither here or there. But I felt like I was let down by that individual that day. And from that point on, I really never dealt with him because of that circumstance, you know what I mean? And when you sign up for this type of stuff, you don't want to be lacking or slow or or not really thinking about what you're getting yourself into. You know the consequences. You know where it goes. You know what is called. What is the call? You know what I mean? Because like again, if I had turtle, whiskey, uh, Jack off sleep. You know, I didn't even know what Kizzy was at that time. You know, I mean, you know, Kizzy, very military type minded guy, very had great strategy. Yeah, it do be like that, homie. It do be like that. But you know, yeah, and you're right, Crystal. That's really deep. You know what I mean? And I don't like to put it like that. You know what I mean? To that degree. But again, I won't tell you no names or nothing. I mean, I just let the chips fall where they may fall because you know when I see people barking and talking, you know. But the truth is the truth. The truth is distinctive. Facts can be changed. You understand? Facts can be changed, and people do that daily. You know what I mean? And I don't have no hard feelings or I'm not scarred to the point to where I'm not unable to forgive. I've forgiven the guys that you know that did that to Bootsy. The one guy, you know, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? I don't even know who he was. You know, but those two individuals that were with me, you know, they wasn't part of the how can I put it, the core. They wasn't part of that response. You know what I mean? That sorry, excuse me. The part of the tribe that was like when something happened, we snap back real quick. We snap back real quick. You understand? And that day, I went in there with some untrained individuals. Yeah, I didn't have the regular guys that you know what I mean, due to circumstances that couldn't be helped. You know what I mean? People get caught up in circumstances, the situations. Yeah, you can definitely lose trust over something like that. You know what I mean? You definitely, you know what I mean? So, but was so bad about that is when you see the individuals and you know what their true nature is, and you know what his true nature is, and then when you see them out there just, you know, lollygagging and joy popping and like nothing never occurred, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, man, you taken back by that, but you wish the best for them, you know, but you know who they are for real, not the internet side, not the the whatever they do on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, but you know the real authentic person. Like I said, Bootsy wasn't a sultry type of guy. Sultry meaning, he's sorry for it. He told me to, okay, yeah, well, yeah, but that's another story, rap. Stay inside. Yep, stay inside, bro. Stay inside. Because if you think about it, a lot of this stuff require certain type of individuals. You know, certain type of individuals, and when you're trying to, respond or be in the defense mechanism, not necessarily offensive. You know what the offensive is, but you don't have the real original guys that created that offense. You understand? That respond in a way that make people like, okay, don't just go over there playing with them dudes. Leave them alone, and that's it, man. Trees, garages on top of houses, camouflage. You know, that's how we carried it. Camouflage, trees on top of houses, garages, dark places, secret locations. You know, yeah, it is a certain type of mindset. But back to Bootsy though, man. Like I say, man, he had his own. He created his own Bootsy glasses with the stars on them, man. Had his own vintage clothing. He was just a star, man. He was a rock star, and you know what I mean. And people didn't know that about him, man. Just a straight rock star. But just an awesome dude, man. And you be thinking about, man, how did this dude, man, not this dude. Why him? You know what I mean? Even Chop Chop. Chop Chop was the type of guy that he didn't look for it, but if you bought it to him, complete hand guy. We call him Chop Chop, because again, he chop them down. Some of the best of them, you know what I mean? Could not rock with him. Couldn't rock with him, you know. So what's the score like, Henny? I know you checking that score, man. 64 watches, 64 thumbs up. Let's get it. Let's do it. Yes, that was his idol. Bootsy Collins was his idol. You know. Yeah, Bootsy Collins was his idol, man. He played the bass guitar just like Bootsy. He modeled his whole set. He modeled his whole theme, his whole identity at the Bootsy, man. And like I say, K Dub, which is Kenny Woods, Mr. Ranger, is Jackie Hall. They hung out with him, man. Even when we lost him, man, they were so devastated. They would just spend time in this. They got to the point they were just sleeping in the shack, man, and maybe even believing that somehow Bootsy would just come back and say, "Man, what y'all doing in my house? Doing in my shack?" You know what I mean? It was just that. Bootsy was a popular name in the '70s. I know about it. Yep. Music of so funky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bootsy had that funk. He played that funk, man. He played that funk for real. You know, had a jazzy type of girlfriend too, man. Like real, Bootsy even could have been a model, you know. That's just how fashion conscious he was, fashion forward he was, man. He would go out again and find just some of the slickest, sleekest type of fashion, and man, and put his touch to it, bam. And you wouldn't see nobody else with that hookup. Oh yeah, you finished the ex-wife bio on him? Right, right on. That's awesome. So anybody got any questions for me? I mean, any questions in, in our environment, our political, social environment? Rest in peace, Arthur Gibbons. See, Rab, the homie Rab is in there, man. And Rab have his sister Roberta Candy. His brother Leonard. Rest in peace. He was there. He was there all the way, man. Cardinals up one in the third. Michael Williams, they were hands and singers I would live to see. Stevie Wonder band. Okay. I thought you was talking about the Michael Williams, Mike Williams from Compton. I know him too. Vibing. So any questions? I think Bootsy even won Mr. Dominguez when he was going to high school. Cause I'm talking about the boy he had it. If you look at the picture in the bio, that don't really do nothing for him, man. He was like that, man. Cut up, slug, had the V shape, had muscles on top of muscles, you know what I mean? He was just that guy, you know. Yeah, he was just that guy. Pamela Taylor says she's a Cardinal fan. Yeah, I'm LA Dodgers. I'm Dodgers, Lakers, and Rams. I'm LA all the way. In and out. Let's see, Cowboy. My dad is 66. Say no one beats Stevie in it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. How could you even pair the Secret Life of Plants? You took him right in on the rocket ship. Didn't you stop? About a half a mile of heaven, you dropped me back down to this cold, cold world. Mike, what's good with you? Man, you missed an awesome story, man. You go back and check it out, man. The Rams are the truth. The Rams are the truth, man. So did you guys get a chance to check some of that stuff, man? I'm really thinking about telling y'all a Keefe D story. But I'm trying to allow Big Deb, what's going on, man? We in the mail room, Big Deb. I'm trying to give Keefe D an opportunity to come on. What's going on, Skull? I'm trying to give him an opportunity to come on. And then, you know what I mean? Me and him can have a conversation because I like having conversation. Yeah, I knew Monster Cody, man. Monster Cody even came to us back in the 80s for help, man, because we had them got damaged, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, if I had to point out to a specific incident that split the CC up, one of the incidents that started off was the first beef. And the first beef was between Palmer Block and Southside. Yeah, QVD is wild. He is always that funny. Yeah. So the beef started between Palmer Block and Southside. And it was Leslie Brim. They found Leslie Brim across the street from Wilson Park by the YMCA. And he had been wounded severely and he lost his life. So, and somehow they try to equate the situation or point the finger at the Palmers. But I don't know if it was ever even proven that the Palmers did it or not. I would say they didn't. I think it was just that's the thing about it, man. You get a lot of people saying stuff, man. We even been in situations, man, and right on, Damu. What's going on with you, man? We've been in situations where our own homies, right, get in a situation, right, and this is every hood. This ain't just mine. They'll come back and lie and say, "Yeah, man, the dudes did this, do that, do that, do that, do that." So if you're not thorough and you're not wise enough to see beyond certain people, you'll wind up getting put in a twist that you necessarily didn't have to. What's going on? The wood is up, bro. You wouldn't have to be involved in because sometimes dudes, man, they'll come back and just tell their homies anything. And you'll wind up in a big old engage in a whole nother tribe based on a whole perfect lie. But that was one thing Turtle was great at. He was great at looking at circumstances and understand how it should be processed, how we should move, who needed to be talked to. You know what I mean? Because he was a man. He was a field marshal, not a general. He was a field marshal, man. He would, you know, make sure everything was on point. It was, it was warranted. It was necessary. See, some dudes they reactionary. They become emotional, and we both know that when something becomes emotional, it becomes reactionary. And when it's reactionary, 9 out of 10 is the wrong decision. 9 out of 10. Big Dev say facts, man. Tony Honey ran and lied, almost started a war. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure Damu Ascari, he understand what I'm saying, understanding about that between the Palmers and the South. It was LA Crip that set and I got. Yep, yep, yep. See? Yeah. I heard I just didn't want to say that, but yeah, you're right. That's what happened. You know what I mean? Killer Montana. What happened to Keefy D? It's a story, man. You know what I mean? At some point I'll tell it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to give him the opportunity to come on, man. See, I've been a little bit of everywhere, man. I'm engaged in many different people. I've been in many different circles. I was always made myself valuable in whatever circumstance I was in. I'm talking about valuable in the bank, valuable in the drug trade, valuable in even going to, when I went to the feds, you know what I mean? I went to the feds for running my own pharmaceutical without a license. So, so that was a whole other thing right there. Me, man, they woke us up, man, and put us on nationwide news. It was let's see, 2001, 5 days before 9/11. Me and all that day I had been looking for gangster, right? Because we was we close and we always found each other, looked for each other, made sure we was okay. And I couldn't find him. And Mama Helen, his mother, came by. Melly, you seen gangster? I haven't talked to him. I said, Mama Helen, he'll turn up at some point. He'll turn up at some point. But he didn't. So that morning when I woke up, because I've always, even though I hustled or whatever, I always kept a job. Always kept a job doing something meaningful, that was significance, that had value and a purpose, a meaning in a purpose. Okay. So when I come out my driveway, I had this real long driveway at the time. And when I got to the end of the driveway, the gate opened, let me out. And there was a car sitting right there. And I'm like, damn, ain't no car supposed to be sitting right there. What the hell is that? So sure enough, when I turned the driveway, I make a right, I bust up the street and car fire up. I couldn't see it because the front windshield was tinted on this car. At this point, I thought that was very suspicious, you know. So sure enough, man, I didn't get maybe a mile, and they came from everywhere, you know what I mean? And it was the feds. So they got in there, they took my car. They took my car and drove it to a forfeiture. Drove it into a forfeiture, federal seizure forfeiture. I saw that clear as day. All the yellow tape, it said federal seizure and forfeiture, right? So they had went on Tucker, start taking all the low riders, putting them on flatbeds and tow trucks and stuff, taking all that stuff. Yeah, Reggie Wright do looks and sound bad, bro. He I hear he got a podcast though, so you know what I mean. And I watched it, I didn't mean to get. I'm gonna come back to Reggie White. Let me come back to that Joe Farrell. And so when they pulled me up in there, the first person I see in the car was Gangster. I'm like, damn. When I saw Gangster, I knew it was all bad. It was all bad. But this was 5 days before 9/11, 2001. We were all 26 indicted, and we had between me, Gangster, my brother, my homie Pee Wee, my homie Don Juan, we had 22 other co-defendants. So where was I at? Let me come back to Joe Farrell. So as to Reggie White, right? Everybody knows that Reggie White Jr. and his father Senior were both Compton PD. Reggie Senior later on became a lieutenant in the sheriff department. That's when 2001 also is the year that the sheriff department took over the Compton PD. The Compton PD was dissolved and the sheriffs came in. So right then and there, that should have been a hint. Well, so one of the things that the feds put in there in my in the indictment that they labeled me out as being a counter surveillance expert. They say that I was always doing counter surveillance. You know what I mean? Because I became aware and of the movement. The movement wasn't right, and something wasn't something. Just different cars and different spaces was showing up different places, and people was moving differently, and I had a sense for that, you know what I mean? And I started backtracking and doing counter surveillance, get on the freeway, get off, jump back on the freeway, get off, jump back on the freeway. And every time I did that, man, I realized that they were putting cars on me and dropping off, putting cars in, and then I swing back around and do a reverse turn, like going the wrong way, come back, and I catch the car trying to get out the way while the other car picked me up. I caught them doing that. Caught them. You know what I mean? At that point, I realized that, oh man, because I seen when I got arrested, it was a lady. Her name was she was an IRS agent named Zena Peterman, and SA Special Agent Elliott. Oh, they said, oh, Mr. Gibson, fine to meet you in person. You pretty good at what you do. Man, they shooting jokes at me, you know what I mean? But this is no joking matter because this is my livelihood y'all playing with, you know? This is no joking matter, you know. They took it as a joke. But sure enough, man, I caught them and did. But by that time, they had what they had. Man, they had this picture of me. They had to take the picture from a satellite because the position they had on me, like I had this stash spot between one side was a garage, the other side was high. But one side was high and the other side was low. So I can get up there and tie everything, drop it down. It was a crawl space. Let me cut the light on. It was a crawl space, maybe about a foot, right? So I would drop everything now. So they got me pulling it up, but they got it from an aerial shot. But I always would look around. I look straight across, look right to the left, look down, look up. I never saw it. But somehow they got a perfect shot of me, man. I'm telling my man, they blew it up like a big ass giant. Remember them posters they used to about? It used to get in the mob shop in the record stores back in the day. They had a poster. And at this point, I knew, man, I knew I was fried eggs, right? Stick a fork in me, I'm done. But one thing we did, me, Gangster, my brother, Pee Wee, and all of us, we stuck together. We stuck together, and this is what we figured out they had us. So what we all decided, we all take responsibility for whatever. I took responsibility for my end. Gangster took responsibility for his end. It's called pleading to foreseeable in legal terminology. Foreseeable is whatever they got you on. Like I had two control buys. Gangster had two control buys. My brother had a control buy. A control buy is when there's a confidential informant, somebody that you know, decides to come purchase from you. And at that time, they wearing a camera, they wearing a wire, they got police lights on their tennis shoes or hard bottom shoes, whatever. At that point, they really signed up to be that person to come get you. You know what I mean? And these be people you know. I'm not gonna out them. I'm not gonna tell you their names because it's not necessary. You know what I mean? At this point, because here's the thing: if they got me because I shouldn't have been doing business with them in the first place, right? So it's my responsibility to check the individual and make sure they were what they were and who they were. You know what I mean? Even though they was friends, grew up with them and everything. You know what I mean? So back to Reggie White, man. Reggie White has a podcast, and dang snitches, yeah, yeah. How's that swole, dude? You project intelligence, intellectual. Yeah, I've been. You know what I mean? I think I've been like this all my life. You know what I mean? To where I've always been aware, and I've always had that third eye. You know, and I understand mathematics. I understand that if it don't add up, it doesn't exist. Everything around us has to add up. At the Alameda station, they had the homies pictures on the wall. They used those pictures to BS line and fix to all. Yeah, you're right, yeah, you're right. I would have pleaded to fix the 6 or 7. Yeah, that's cool, but not in federal. In federal, here's what they do in federal, Crystal. They gather all the information and evidence for a couple of years. Intelligence gangsters are dangerous, man. The intelligence that they had and the information they had on them was a 2-year investigation. So it wasn't until about the bottom part that where I started putting the pieces together. So they already had what they had. You understand? There was no wiggle room. Put it that way. Yeah, right on, Pam Taylor. Got you. So we got 100 people in the chat, man. How many thumbs up we got? Cynthia Dunn in the house. What's going on, Cynth? Bernie Smith. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Y'all, Cynthia Dunn be doing me wrong. Yeah, they sharp. Yeah, they are sharp, man. But you know what I mean? I was sharp too, man. I was on them, man. Me and that back to that lady Zena Rapidov and a special agent Elliot, man. We locked eye to eye. I'm coming out the Miller by the Muir Brewing Company off the 210 and 605. And right where the freeways merged, I happened to look over and they looked at me. And when they looked at me, I knew exactly who they were because I had seen them before. You know what I mean? They was exposed at that point, but at that point they had what they had. You know. See, I don't do jail. That's why I don't go. But you know what, Crystal? They sent me to Terminal Island, right? It was like being at the beach every day because you own the water. Not Jenny God, Henny God. It's like being so when I was there, you know, they had all the nice gym equipment. They had the life cycles and all this different stuff. You can, you know, they had nice pillows and big comfortable mattresses and stuff. They make you real. They feed you shrimp and you even ate crab there. You had ice cream socials. They really made you really, really comfortable. But that wasn't for me. So I spent most of my days in the law library reading federal seconds and federal thirds, reading American jurisprudence, reading the laws and procedures, reading the Black dictionary, defining the Latin terms of Dita Carrera, Cornovis, you know, learning what the jurisprudence is, learning what the prima facie is, learning what the pro quo is. You understand? Amicus. So you have to learn how to define this stuff and feel what their definitions are. Because if you don't, you lost in the sauce. So dudes just say, man, you ain't coming to Iron. No, I ain't coming to Iron Proud. When I got out of jail, I'd give me a gym membership once I get out of jail. I don't need no gym membership in jail. So boom, I hit, man. I get 22 months back. I filed a writ to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, get 22 months back, get some property back, and some money and some jewelry. And it worked out, you know what I mean? I came home earlier than what was anticipated. People that claimed they loved me showed me how much they really didn't love me, you know. Uh, Ex-wife uh, did everything she wanted to do with everything she had in her possession, you know what I mean? I wasn't mad at her, you know. Never not once asked her what her paycheck looked like, never even saw one, you know. And she worked every day for the Wells Fargo corporate office. She created expense accounts for rich people that come in, you know, out of town, you know, like like I'll give you an example, like a P. Diddy was one of her clients, you know. Yeah, jail definitely teach you teach you a valuable lesson, you know. You know. How many thumbs up we got in there, man? Real talkery. You know, so man, Western Ave King, what's up with it? Everything is up. We were just in here chopping it up. We talked about the homie, my homie Bootsy. Yeah, Miss Reed. Yeah, you're right. At what point did I forgive myself? I forgave myself immediately because you have to forgive yourself. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: I'm a firm believer that karma has no expiration date. So you gotta, you gotta rectify that situation immediately. You gotta get back in balance. You gotta get back in tune. You gotta get on principle because it's universal principles that control this big drama that you see in front of you, the so-called game of life. Just push like, man. That's all. And you got to get on point with that, man. You know, you can't become fallacious, you know, believing in something that's not really there, you know. So you got to face the reality of it all, you know. Interpret the things, you know. You can't become that person that doesn't understand the perception of reality, the experience of the reality, you know. Because if you do, you turn in the experience of reality for illusion, something that's not there, something that's not tangible, tangible equity. Schoolcraft. What's up though? Schoolcraft. Outer drive. What does that mean? They hollering at you, Henny God. They hollering at you, baby. Western Ave, man. She dropped in on us today. Shout out to Western Ave. Oh, that's what he's saying. Joe Farrell, what up? Right on. At the Hood Postman, Colorado got the Cocoa Act. They didn't even need the feds, did. Yeah. Colorado is a very interesting state. You know, that's where they got the ADX. That's where they got Larry Hoover. They had Doc Holliday, Supreme Commander of the BGF. They had Ted Jasinski, the Unabomber. They got some of the most ruthless people in the feds right there. Locked it's a prison that's underground, you know. There's no everything come to your shower, come to your room, your letter, you read a letter on the screen, your TV is on the screen, you don't see nobody. You have no interaction. Melly, when did you hood that? Wait a minute. What did it say? Melly, when did hood days hit Compton? Now that's an interesting question. If I want to, if I had put a, I want to say in the '90s. In the '90s. Although we was doing picnics and stuff in the '80s, but we didn't categorize it or put a title or label to it. I think until the '90s. I could be wrong though. You know, I mean, don't put my I can't know everything. I don't know everything, you know what I mean? So it's just my opinion on that. Loco 63 was good. Right on, Henny God. Could he crip like Snoop Dogg? Man, Turtle could do anything, man. That was one man that could do almost anything, man. I look forward to finding somebody, you know what I mean, to actually help me write a script on Turtle, man. I think what you guys, you think that'll be a Monique Monk? What's good? Yes, I'm a local truck driver. How about yourself? Can you guys still hear me? We started ours in '98, right on dead. When did the wars amongst the CC jumped off? Man, Turtle story would be dope. Yeah, I think it would be super dope, man. You know, your husband was okay. Yeah, that would be because Turtle is already he's already known globally, right? People around the world know who Kenny Wayne Johnson is. My name is Kenny Wayne Johnson. Put the word out. If we can't get it, it can't get got. Hard D and dynamite. All we don't F, we blow up. I can just hear him say that. I'm gonna kick back, pull off my slacks, and give me some backs. Those are all his mantras right there, man. He used to sing that. What was that song, Mr. Malcolm Clear, going each and everywhere, including Spain, Asia, Africa, Asia. So he said, we went to the places where the people told us not to go. Ain't nothing but that SBC and things. How do I keep my spiritual skills up? I read. I read. I love reading. I love learning. I love just engaging with you guys. That's part of it. And I speak to myself. I bless myself. Increase me in intellect, wise knowledge, understanding, purify my heart and purify my mind. Give me the true knowledge, the true information. Top Media TV, you back, huh? Man, you got to go over there with your boy Reggie Wright, man, got a podcast, man. OG Steve, what's up, man? Yeah, he didn't mind taking nobody to jail. You know what I mean? Now he want to be you know, now he want to make like he belonged to the streets. Great verbal articulation. You know enough to write other right stuff. Yeah, well, I'll accept that. I'm humble about it. You know, freeing myself from ancestral trauma. You know, mastering soul lessons, cultivating space for the abundance to flow. That's what I do. You know, if that's a better answer to your question, Miss Reed. Freeing myself from ancestral trauma, mastering soul lessons, while cultivating space for the abundance to flow because everything has to flow. All spaces are filled, whether positive or negative, but you get to choose which space you be in. Two things everybody wake up with is a chance and a choice. That's what everybody wakes up with it. Because once you wake up in the morning, anything else can be, all else can be negotiated. All you got to do is wake up, though. That's the key. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate that. Yeah, chat did post it on his channel. It's all good, bro. Reggie Wright Jr. ain't me, y'all. Killing me in the chat. That's funny. No, that ain't him. I don't believe it's him. You know what I mean? I think it. Bo, what's happening, man? Man, you missed it, man. We've been chatting it up, man, talking, kicking it, man. But you know what? To be honest with you, for for me, the individual, to be able to have a conversation, be able to articulate a story, but at the same time answer questions and do it with a great spirit. You know what I mean? Because I welcome any question. If I don't have an answer, I expound, like expounding, right? I try to give you one. And if I don't know something, I just tell you I don't know, right? But being able to do that for an hour is not easy, an easy task. It's not so easy. But you guys are such a gracious audience, you know, followers, people that are willing to listen, a little to learn. How do we get out of this circumstance? How do we get out of this tragedy that has put a dark place over the city? If you look at the city, is the ethnic identity of our people, is it really the gangbang? Is Has hip hop really became the driving force of both everyday activity, gang banging, whether it's church, everyday activity, sports, music, fashion? You see, because we came into this place, this space that we're in by group effort. Only way we can back up out of it is by a group effort. Raymond Lee Washington wasn't by himself. Stanley Tookie Williams was never by himself. Mac Thomas was never by himself. Mac Thomas took it to a step further, man. He had horses. He put the homies on horses and went down and handled his business. Can you imagine dudes riding up with blue rags and stuff on the horses, man? With them goddammits on them like it's 1840, the Wild Wild West, you know. How did he get, where did he get that? Why did that even enter his mind is beyond me. Knowledge of self is key. Black history started long before slavery. See, it's okay. But America created niggas. The nigga is American invention. The people that was brought over here through the transatlantic slave trade was astronomers, doctors, nurses, teachers, builders, carpenters, journeymen, engineers, people that knew how to till the land, harvest the fields. They didn't steal people that didn't know nothing. How you think all this stuff got built? That's the part they're not telling you. But they want to tell you that you're slaves, or they want to tell you that you were lazy, you undesirable, you're a super predator. Everything we know was taught to us by them. We got here not knowing nothing about this land. The land in which our ancestors come from, they knew that well. Of course, you know. But this land right here, when it came to all the violence, the raping, the pillaging, the burning, the rioting, was taught to you by the European man here, the slave trader, the slave master. But they want to complain about when you rise up in rebellion and utilize the things that they taught you back on them. Then it's a problem. How crazy is that? They're doing exactly. My family origins are black roots. They lie and it was exposed in the killing of them. But even when I go back and talk to the law of 1710, the meritorious manumissions, They created a law. Back then, they had Charleston White like people that told on Nat Turner, Gabriel Processor, Harriet Tubman. They had people, black people, that was opposed to them. Stevens was a real character in Django. That type of character was real. Boss, we sick. I'm telling you, man, go get the book. Are You Still a Slave? Read it. Take the quiz at the back of the book, and then it'll let you know where you at. It has a quiz. It has a test quiz at the back of the book. It's Shaharza Ali. Are you still a slave? Yep. I'm back. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed you. Stay tuned for somebody tried to correct me. Say, man, you using the Lord name in vain. I ain't using the Lord. People think that, you get people to say, I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star. A star is a dead planet. Who wants to be that? If you really think about what you're saying, go look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look up what a star is. It's a dying planet. Who wants to be a star now? Anybody want to be a star? It's a dying planet, man. Which Lord, Yeah, you're right. Because I said, God damn it, Friday. Not God, but God damn it, Friday. But not them God damn it's. Chat room goons, the mail room goons know what it means. No harm, no foul there. Just a matter of interpretation. They do it here in the wilderness of North America. You know, 5% say we the Asiatic black man. I'm the maker and the owner. I'm the father of civilization. I'm the God of the universe. That's what 5% says. I think that's a great deal right there. What about you? Say, I'm the Asiatic Supreme should know that. I'm the I am the Asiatic black man. I'm the maker and the owner, the father of civilization, the father and mother of civilization. Let me get that out. The father and mother. Because the woman, the black woman, is the original woman. Anything else is just a copy. Not to put anybody down. See what I'm saying? It's just all in a matter of interpretation and all in a matter of how you explain things. So now watch this. And I'm gonna be letting you guys go in a second. If you take the school system, you take the court system, you take the church, all three are set up the same. There's a man out front sitting behind a pulpit, or a man out front sitting behind a desk, or a teacher out front sitting behind a desk. There are people in the pews, there's people in the jury. Well, not the jury. The jury is the 12 disciples. The choir is the 12 disciples. The administration of the school is their 12 disciples. It's all the same. It's all set up the same. It's no difference. It's all meant to keep you all balanced, marginalize, devalue, undervalue, and underestimate you. Because if why would you allow does the European allow the Africans to teach their kids? Does the Jews allow the Japanese to teach their kids? And vice versa. Does the Japanese allow the Europeans to teach their kids? But yet, the black man here in America, the so-called ninja, created by the United States, allow Europeans to teach their kids. Have you ever even thought about that? When you know, you know. No other group of people, the Indians don't allow people to teach their kids. The Eastern Indians. The Germans don't allow uh, 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 Eskimos to teach their kids. Eskimos don't allow Germans to teach their kids. But the black so-called American, which is a construct, black is a construct. Negro is a construct. African American is a construct. We've been misidentified. So don't get mad at me when I tell you I'm a god. If you choose to be an African American and black or whatever, or Negro is somebody that needs to grow. If you choose to be that, then that's on you. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. Especially not when I'm telling you. I'm telling you who I am. But I digress. I digress. But anyway, it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. You guys are the most caring people it is to sit up and listen to me. You guys are a really amazing group of people, and I appreciate you. But stay tuned for goddamn it Friday, and we'll be back up. Until then, peace, and we are out. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below so when that dope content hit, it'll feel like the 1st and the 15th. Yahshua Muhammad, Crystal, Monique, Miss Reed, Marlena, Big Deb, Devon, Western Ave King, Queen, Henny God, all my peeps, y'all. Wesley Z, I see you, baby. You guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon, man. I'm finna go to sleep. I'm out.